to me and my shirt. Oh, and Vince. We've got a little special surprise for you. You need to check this out. Special. Check this out.
We like special.
You're with Cheryl Lee from MegaMusicTV. We're joined today by a gentleman who needs no introduction, an adopted South Australian lead singer of not one, but two bands, of course, the Screaming Jets and the Angels. I'm talking to Dave Gleeson. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dave.
It's lovely to be here, and I love when people say you need no introduction, but
Let's introduce you anyway.
Thanks for giving me one anyway.
Yeah.
Makes me feel special.
Special. Oh, you are special. We've got a lot to talk about today, but one of the things I wanted to touch on was the recording session that you did with the Angels at Mixmasters.
Yes.
Now, you guys sold tickets for that. Can you do that again?
Yeah, that was a great idea. It was actually, before all this nonsense went on and we had to come up with new ways to connect with fans, that was something that someone came up with, and we just thought it was a great way to connect with fans, get them all in and see how the process works. I mean, I think it's a lot different to how people think, and there's a lot more time consuming than people expect, but I think it gives people great insight. But great idea. As soon as we're allowed to socially distance in studios, I'm sure we'll do it again.
Do it again, because from a punter's point of view, we absolutely loved the opportunity to be firstly in Mixmaster's studio. What a joint.
Iconic, absolutely.
So much history.
Yeah. Mick Wardley has a beautiful studio there, and there's people all over the country get in touch with him because he has microphones that they like to hire and amps and stuff they like to hire. So he's one of those guys that's got all the stuff.
Yeah, and it's just wood panelling, and you can sort of just absorb the history from the studio. And to be allowed in, it was just to watch you guys record.
Great.
Do it again.
Just hold on a minute while I whip this out. Will I ever go to see your face again? your face again. Am I ever gonna sit on your face again? Am I gonna see your face again? I wanna see your face, your sweet smiling face. See your face, see your face, see you again.
And you guys recorded LaGrange.
Yeah.
And am I ever going to see your
Yes.
face again? So get onto the Googleometer and have a look. And you know what? The blonde chick in the back, you might even see her. Now, coming up, you've got the 10th anniversary of when you joined the Angels. Any big celebration in mind?
Not at the moment. We've got a tour planned, obviously, that'll coincide with that. We had to reschedule the dark room tour, and I think that's going to probably be about that stage. I can't believe it's 10 years.
10 years. I know.
It's insane. It's obviously it's a blip on the radar of them 45 years or whatever now.
Yep.
But to have been a part of it and to I guess in some ways rebuild it and get it back to the level that it is now. We've recorded 5 studio albums. 3 of those were recharged for Face to Face, No Exit, and Dark Room. And then we've done live versions of all those albums as well. So that's 6 albums. And then of course we've done the two albums that Take It to the Streets, and a live DVD as well. So we've done heaps of stuff in that 10 years.
10
so
years,
it's been
exactly
fantastic to be part of.
Well, as a born and bred South Australian, I'm a Cold Chisel and Angels girl. So I just wanted to thank you personally for joining the Angels when they needed you, and now we can go out and hear that fabulous music and those great songs that we grew up, dancing to.
Well, it's been obviously I'll take that thanks, but it's been an absolute pleasure every time to get up there and keep those songs alive. It just meant so much to me and my mates and my older brothers and all the people in Cardiff that I grew up with. To be part of keeping that legacy alive is a very special thing.
It's just so great to be able to go out and see them live and see the Brewster brothers and
Thanks,
now Sam
John
Brewster.
Sam Brewster, and there's been times where it's been so Sam's has 2 brothers, Harry and Tom.
Yes.
So they'll get up on stage and there'll be like 5 Brewsters
and you.
Me.
This little old Adelaide, hey. Sam Brewster taught my son James at Adelaide High.
Oh, there you go. Unreal.
Everyone knows everyone.
It's great, and Sam moving down here, that kind of came out of left field. Obviously, John's a long time resident of Victor Harbour.
Yeah.
And when Sam decided to move down, because his beautiful wife Lara was working at Adelaide Hospital, it was a great thing, and he loves it just like I did when I came here. I was like, before I moved to Adelaide, if someone said, "Hey, you should move to Adelaide," I'd go, "What?" But I love it. It's been one of the greatest moves I ever made, career-wise, family-wise, and stuff.
So while we're talking about Adelaide, what did bring you to live in our
Well,
state?
my beautiful wife is from down here. We live in the house she grew up in. We had our
You
first.
came here for love.
Yeah, we had our first kid, and we were living in Sydney, and kind of the jets were working sporadically. So we kind of just sold up in Sydney, moved down here, and as I said, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had in radio with Triple M and stuff if I hadn't. Because in Sydney, You know, you live there, people would go, oh, Dave Gleeson lives in Sydney, we should get him in to Triple M. They go, what? But here, I mean, it was a bit of a thing, and like called Dean Kesby, who worked at Triple M at the time, heard I was living here and
The
got
rest
me in.
is
And,
history.
yeah. I've had my ups and downs. They boned me a couple of times. But that's rock and roll.
Oh, well, talking about funny things, we are so blessed here though to live in Adelaide, especially during the COVID situation. But you guys, you started out, I think, on Katie's parents' property, streaming, not screaming.
Yep.
And it got legs, didn't it? You're
It
at the
did.
gun now every week.
Yeah, no, that came out of the blue. Obviously, for anyone who knows about Shakespeare, in Julius Caesar, he's told, beware the Ides of March. And the day that they stab him, they say the Ides of March are come, right? So that was the 15th of March, that's the day that is.
That's right.
The Ides of March came on we were on the Red Hot Summer Tour. We did the 13th, which was Friday the 13th, with Boom Crash, just at a side gig. And then the gig on the Saturday was blown out, which was the Red Hot Summer Tour. And the Sunday, well, they just wiped
That was
everything.
that.
So
Overnight.
a year of work that I had on the horizon, which I'd only days before going, oh, I've got so much work on.
It's your fault.
Yeah, and then it was like, now I've got no work on. So that, I'm obviously not the only one, and being able to start this show and then move into the Gov and have crowds as we go along has been just fantastic. It's been the thing that's kept me positive and kept me motivated to get something ready for next week.
Cheryl, you actually you just won a glass of champagne. Yeah. Ladies
and gentlemen, Cheryl Lee!
And you get a glass of champagne. So many of these people have been coming week in and week out, and quite frankly, I've reported them. Listen, there's some people who obviously there's nothing going on, and they keep showing up, but we appreciate it greatly, all the people who supported us. I don't know how many people are going to be watching today, but it's been around 600 or 700 people every time we've done it. So
You can just imagine the police report. Look, we have to report them. We really thank them and love them, but look, you're going to have to
move them on.
But also, you guys are just so funny. You clearly are just great mates, and you have an absolute ball up there.
We do, and the fact that we can have a crack at any song, anything from the Rainbow Connection to Metallica, whatever. It's been great fun, and that's working with Crafty. That's when I first moved here. He was playing with a band with a guy called Dave Zancatta. I'm sure you know of Dave. He's a musician around the area for a long, around Adelaide for years. They were playing in a band. I got up and sang a few songs with him. Me and Crafty hit it off instantly. He's very much
He's so clever.
He has very much the same vibe as Jimmy Hocking from the Jets. And we get on like a house on fire, so it's a great fun thing to do.
I've told you before, I don't care. I'm just an excuse to get down to the top. I'm going to go and watch the footy, darling. Who's playing? Essington, Carlingford, I'm not sure, I think.
And the Black Crows.
The St Kilda something or others are playing the Brisbane Lions? Brisbane something. Anyway, no, I do enjoy the footy because I do enjoy it over here.
We just had 19 people put a comment in saying, I love Essington.
Essington, yeah, absolutely. I love them because they're red and whatever other. No, but I am an actual mad Crows supporter. My blood is whatever their colours are.
Great fun thing to do.
Yeah, it's really obvious, and he is a very, very clever musician, isn't he?
And poor old Athol. We give Athol a hard time, but he's a top bloke, and you know the way that it's grown. Obviously, it grew from myself and Crafty with my wife holding her iPhone at us in the backyard to being able to have a full band with Athol and Matt McNamee and Storky and stuff. It's fantastic. It's a great thing. We get to rehearse once a week like the old days.
Yeah.
And so
Well, thank you for doing that. been our saviour. We've got 5 children, so that hence we need to get out of the house. So that's a bloody good excuse.
You'll end up with more children.
Right, that's it.
We're going to finish up now with our last song that's got a chick's name in it. And I love the fact that Bon Scott wrote this song and his wife said, "We've never written a song about me." And he said, "I came over, I said, I read a song about you." She said, "What's it called?" He said, "She's Got Balls." And they broke up the next week. He said it, I didn't. Let me tell you a story about a woman I know. And when it comes to love, she steals the show. She ain't exactly pretty, she ain't exactly small. 42, 39, 56, you can say she's coming on.
So you mentioned the Red Hot Summer Tours. Ours in Adelaide is Sounds by the River
Yep.
at Manningham. We just got that in this year.
Yes.
Before.
Yeah, we had, there was supposed to be 27 of those shows all around the country. It was the 10-year anniversary, and it had grown from like its very humble beginnings. 6 bands or 4 bands did 6 dates in regional Victoria and New South Wales. It grew up to 27 shows with like this massive head, like Bill Hunters,
That's right.
James Rain, Living End, Baby
Everyone.
Animals, The Angels. It was just so much fun, and so got stopped short. I think we did a dozen of those, and then missed out on 15. So, and like when you're doing it, you just think, oh, we'll see you next week. See you next week. Can't wait. We'll do it all again, and then so. All my friends out there, I mean, we're great mates with all the people in those bands, so we miss them. We really do. The Red Hot Summer, to their credit, they found, because I mean, obviously this Day on the Greens have been going for longer than that, and but for Dwayne McDonald to go out and find those great venues like the Manham and Seppeltsfield's another one that we've done before. And
but I wanted to talk to you about the 2018 one, because God, you're a busy boy. That was Susie Q. It was lovely to see you singing with her. But you not only performed with the Angels, but you performed with your Screaming Jets as well.
Yeah. Well, that's and just I want to say hi to Susie. If she's been so lovely to us, and actually she sent me an email the other day just to see how everything's going. But well. It's not that hard really, because they're only 45-minute sets. It was hot, that was one thing. But Jimmy Hocking tells the story. People were coming up while he was doing his shows. He does solo shows all the time in Melbourne. They're coming up going, what about Dave? He's doing 2 sets. That must be so hard. And Jimmy goes, here I am at the end of my 2nd set with another set to go, and they're telling me how hard it is for Dave because he's doing 2 sets where he doesn't even have to know any chords, but I love it. I mean, getting up in front of big crowds, and even if you feel crook or something like that, it just lifts you. So I actually think, because I was doing singing with Susie Q at the end of that show as well. So I reckon by the 3rd time, people were going, "Get off, mate! Get him off!"
If you're a lady here at the Go, can you just do us a favour? Can you go? All right, fellas, can you help us out here? Can you join them?
It's like being at a fucking George Michael concert. He's amazing! What's your name? John!
And the Baby Animals were on that tour as well. And then since then you've recorded some, an album, a single, where you sang one of their songs, and they sang one of your songs. I love that concept.
Yeah, and that harked back to the day that the Baby Animals, when they first came on the scene, they toured with the Angels, Diesel, and a band called the Hurricanes. And the Angels brought out, I think it was a single, and they were all on the B-side. All those bands were featured on the B-side. It was kind of like a play on that, and like many of the Australian rock bands of our era, the Angels played a huge part in giving us supports, taking us around the country, getting us in front of their crowds and stuff like that. So it was just a nice little tip of the hat to do the Baby Animal song. I've got to say, but John and Rick, we recorded it half a semitone higher than Susie sings it. She's a chick and I'm a bloke. What are you doing to me? Trying to kill me. But no, it came out great.
Again, from the punter's point of view, I'd recommend doing that again. I bought the vinyl. I love vinyl as well. The fact that you put it on the vinyl and we can listen to the scratches as it starts just makes it even better. And we can hold it in our hot little hands. But we love, to hear the bands that we love singing other bands that we love songs. It's like a double whammy. We get to hear a great song by a great band.
Well, that's, I've said it before, but I'm a fan of bands. I like yourself, Cheslin and the Angels, and Radiators and the Choir Boys and the Baby Animals, and So you're a fan of that genre of music,
that's
that
right.
Aussie rock kind of thing,
That song,
and
yeah.
you know that's what I still find strange, to be hanging out with James Rain and Barnsey, and then calling me Dave and not that guy. There's that guy again. Who's that? But to be kind of like like to be a contemporary or a peer of theirs is unreal. That's what's been great about the Screaming Not Screaming, is just having a crack at all these songs of people that I loved growing up. Because I was in a cover band when I started. So I sang James Rain songs badly and Barnsley songs. And I mean, when we first started, our set list was like Forever Now, Oh No Not You Again, Give Me Head, Coming Home. Yeah, just all the songs of bands that I hang out with now when I'm on tour.
And is that where you got the inspiration for that album with Give Me Head on it?
Yeah, Got You Covered came about just because it's just a bit of a tip of a hat to all those people. And it's like so many people are in cover bands and they come up to you and they go, "Oh, I'm just in a cover band." I go, "Rock on, man! I'm really in a band."
Awesome.
And I use the analogy: not everyone gets to play first grade footy, but the parks are full of
That's right.
kids and
Love and
adults
footy.
playing footy
Yeah.
every weekend, all that they can.
I did my research for our chat today and it just blew my mind. There was too much. 2 bands and all the Angels history and everything. So I don't remember any of it. But what I did notice was one glaring omission on Wikipedia. Do you know what that is?
No.
2002 debut album.
Right, yeah.
Dave Gleeson.
Wanted Man.
Man. It's not in there.
That's crazy. I'll have to go and update it. That was the Jets had been off the road probably about a year or something, maybe. Anyhow, I went and started working for a mate of mine as a plumber, as a just a chick kicker, plumber's assistant. And I was digging a hole one day, and I was up to my knees in other people's whatever. And I said, "Mate, there's got to be a better way to make money than this." He said, "There is. What you do?" And I go, "Yeah, you're right." So then I kind of started hatching a plan to do an album of songs that I'd been writing over the years that hadn't been kind of Jets style.
Because they're a little bit country.
They are a bit country. I'm a huge country fan. And then so I was one day from doing it, and I had a blow up with the guy who was fronting the cash for it. And he goes, "Well, I'm paying for it." Well, I said, "Well, you stick your money up your arse," said, mate. Hung up, said to the wife, "I'm not going to do my album now." And she goes, "I can tell by the way you just spoke to the financier." Anyway, I rang Jimmy Hocking, who was flying up that day, or the next day to do it. I said, "Don't worry about getting that flight, mate. It's all off." And Jimmy said, "Oh, what's happened?" And I told him the story. And he said, "Well, I'll see what I can put together." So he put together a band in Melbourne, or down Rye, where he was living, down Mornington Peninsula. And over the next 4 to 6 weeks, I went down there a few times, just recorded songs as I went. He mastered it, mixed it, and then we got everyone's clever that I work with. Yeah, so we brought that out. I had a great time touring it for about 18 months around mostly New South Wales, Queensland. Got to tour with Lee Kernaghan, went to the Country Music Festival in Tamworth, was widely accepted, had a great old time, and but then the Jets got back in around 2004, and that was just as I was about to start recording the follow-up to Wanted Man, which I'm still trying to get happening now, and we're just about to re-release Wanted Man. So the re-release will come out before I get to do the follow-up. But anyway, that's rock and roll.
Oh, it's wrecking stuff. Stand back, ladies and gentlemen, he's about to wreck some shit. Alright. Now that was a public service announcement. Back when the Who were wrecking stuff, there was no OH&S. So like there was shit flying everywhere, fragments and drumsticks, drums, guitars, and Roger Daltrey just stood there like this. Now, I, as a responsible citizen, have to say, please stand back, ladies and gentlemen. He's about to wreck his stuff. Fucking hold your eyes, close your eyes, use some hand sanitizer, social distance. Whatever happened to fucking rock and roll?
Is there any truth to the rumour that it might be vinyl?
We're going to release it in vinyl because it's going to JB now.
Yeah.
Brilliant. There's vinyl everywhere, and a lot of re-releases. We're hoping to do some Jets re-releases as well, and just because it's nice to have vinyl, as you said, to look at it and pull out the insert, read the liner notes, read the lyrics, all that stuff. It's just part of the whole experience.
That's right. Now, we've got something in common, you and I. I'm in a band as well.
Right.
Well, I'm not in a band. I played a gig once. Well, not a gig. I played a song once.
Oh,
I just tambourines with the Master's Apprentices.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right, that's awesome. That's part of
around
rock
the
history.
King's Head, that's right. They played at the King's Head, which is where it all began for
Right,
them. Yeah, and I did one tambourine song.
Unreal. They always get spoken. That's hey, give it to the good-looking chick down there. Get up here and play. But I mean, you mentioned that, and Adelaide and the music that they've created that happened within
That's
kilometres
right.
of where we
Exactly.
sit, that grew out of the vibrant pub scene that they had here. I mean, Rob Riley tells me stories of going on stage at the Seven Seas.
Seven Stars?
At 3 o'clock in the morning to start their first set because they waited for the headline band to come off and that. Just the fact that Master Apprentices and Glenn Shorrock and Paul Kelly and Chisel, the Angels, all came out of this place that everyone sees as especially in bloody Adelaide, you turn the lights off when you left. The blueprint for the Australian rock that we love, certainly a lot of it came from right here.
Anyway, that's Dave's yarn of the day. Let's say something. I couldn't get through this song without laughing last week, so I'm having a That's so bad. Brings back all the memories of last week. You start something. If I don't know it, you just keep going.
Oh, thank you so much for chatting to us today, Dave. It's been a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure as well. It's great to be talking about music and stuff.
Isn't
like
it?
that. And so many people that have got in touch with us on the Streaming Not Screaming have said, you better not stop doing it because we live for it, and I must say there's been times where I think maybe we should knock it on the head. But the family love doing it as well. They love being involved, and James is really flourishing as a drummer, and Bella's had a bit of a tough time at school and stuff. So to see her really enjoying it is an amazing thing as well.
And we love that too as punters, to have that little glimpse into family life as well.
Yeah, I'm very, very blessed to have beautiful kids and a beautiful wife who if it all fell over tomorrow, she would stand there with an iPhone and start again. So.
Is there anything coming up with the Screaming Jets? Anything new for us?
Well, there's what happened was we were supposed to go into the studio in May and start knocking out a new album. And unfortunately that wasn't able to happen, but not knowing how long this is all going to go on, we thought we'd have a bit of experiment with the technology. I know everyone else uses it, but we're Luddites. We need to get into a studio and smoke and drink and swear and carry on, and that's kind of the way it's been for ever since we started. So we thought we might try out the technology while we're here. So depending on, we don't know how long it's going to go. We might have to record a whole album with this technology. You know, sending it around to each other. So we decided to try with a few songs that everyone knows and loves already. We've already the one that people have seen, I think, is Helping Hand. We did a ISO version of that, and Scotty Kingman, our illustrious guitarist, put together a great video. And then it kind of grew. So we've recorded a bunch of songs, and Scotty's made different film clips for all of them. Some of them are absolutely mad. You have to watch them again and again. So we're really excited that in the next little while that we'll have more information on what we're going to release. And you know, just like with the Angels, we released Under the Stone about a little while ago, which is just nice to be putting new stuff out. So hopefully very soon we'll be able to give you the whole package of what the Jet's been working on.
That's one of the positives, I guess, of having to stay at home during COVID. You get to do these things that you may not necessarily have time to do.
If I get to the end of this and go, oh, I forgot to do that thing, then I'll need to kick myself in the arse. And I've been actually working with a guy called Gwyn Ashton, who's an Adelaide boy as well.
I'm interviewing him next week.
Well, I've been working with him. We've written 12 songs in 3 sessions, and they just seem to be coming out really organically. So that's another great thing. As you say, use the time wisely. Now I must know at least 100 more songs on guitar than I knew 6 months ago.
So are the new songs with Gwyn a little bit bluesy? Or a bit
bluesy, rocky, some, I don't know, a bit southern bluesy, I don't know. But they're just coming out, and he says, I got this riff. And I go, well, I got these words, and we just match them up, and
voila!
Pretty good, pretty stoked.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks again, Dave.
No worries, Shirley. Thank you.
Sometimes things get a little hazy. Sometimes I think I'm just a little crazy. Well, I don't even know my own name. Soon all of me will go on up in flames. Oh yeah. Wearing scars on my arms and in my eyes. Are you friends or enemies in disguise? So hard when everything just runs against me. Jealous words, they turn into a love-hate frenzy. Won't someone please understand? Won't someone lend me a helping don't always. Sometimes they do, but rock on! Since I was a child, I used to dream of many things. Superstars of bizarre kings and their pretty queens. Now it seems I need a shot, a drink to jog my thoughts. Why does it happen all the time?